And welcome to I am not muted. Welcome to the 69th episode of Man-O-Rama, where tonight we talk about selfishness and how that's bad. Lessons to be learned, lessons to be taught. Yeah. And Tom looks like he's back in the 90s,
On technical issues. Well, we figured it out last minute. Oh, then literally last second, actually. Oh, man. Old
It's
computers.
all good. It's all
What are you
good.
gonna do?
Well, let's go around the table and see how everyone's doing. Mike, how's your week been?
I had a pretty good weekend. Nice and quiet weekend. Kind of chilling out, relaxing and whatnot. So, hope everybody had a pleasant Easter. It was fairly nice. Today I actually hit 1,000 on my channel.
Fantastic.
I am like 1,015 on my channel. It just bam, just exploded. It was like nuts.
Like an orgasm.
I had exactly.
Now
That's
you know what
it
an
felt like
orgasm
too.
is.
And
That's
now
right.
I want to
That's
say,
important.
talk on this behalf. I was there. The shock on his face was amazing. He actually was genuine. He was like, what? Oh, I made 1,000.
Yeah. Like I had no idea. And it was like somebody in the chat that pointed it out. It's like, oh, congrats on 1,000. I'm like, what? what are you talking about? And,
Yeah.
and I looked, I'm like, no, you got to be kidding me. Like, somebody's playing a joke on me or something like that. It's like a late April Fool's kind of joke. And I looked, and yeah, it was like nuts. It was 1,000, over 1,000 subscribers now. And no, it was pretty good. I mean, by the end of it, there was like 290 people on X watching. There was like about maybe 18 watching on YouTube. There was about maybe 8-9 people on Rumble watching. It was amazing. We were just exposing the Whisper Network and what they did with this guy that ended up unfortunately ending his life. Not to bring it down around the whole thing or anything like that, but it gained some traction, and I was pretty glad, that we could talk about this, that we could expose this, for what it is, because nobody should be put through that kind of thing. And
It was an honor being on your show, and I'm glad you brought me in for all these times because stories like that aren't heard often. That was a very quiet story, and you bring it to light, and stuff like that need to be heard. So,
yeah,
Cool.
And and it's good, because somebody gave me a word of advice that talk about the news that a lot of people don't touch up on, and it seems to have worked after 2 years and 8 months of doing this. I'm taking my channel seriously. So, so it's been pretty good.
That's
on a
cool.
side
That's
note, you get a lot of followers on X. I didn't realize. Holy snap! How many did you have most watching at once?
290 people on X. So,
It's like, whoa! Start
I know.
using next word for broadcasting. Holy smokes!
There you
which
go.
is what we're doing right
And-
now.
Awesome.
And Tom, how's your week been?
Busy. Again, Thanksgiving, getting to hang with mom and dad. They had turkey dinner. That was awesome. And mom, you always have that mother's homemade dressing. It's not better than, doesn't matter, wife or whatever, friend. Nobody will make it better than your mom. It's just,
Yeah.
perfect. So just there. What did I watch? What was it? The American Society of the Magical Negroes. After 30 minutes, I had to turn that movie off. That movie is so racist against white people. Wow, that was garbage. So really bad.
What gave you it away?
Yeah, exactly. And then I went to see Kong Godzilla. Movies are way overpriced nowadays. I'll still go to a couple, but I'm not getting food anymore. But it was still good. It was fun. So it was just a fun watch. But that's all I've been up to recently. And oh, by the way, my first episode for the Geeky Classic Leftist for me alone is up. It's a WrestleMania review preview coming because that's this week, Saturday and Sunday. So I do a preview of that, and that's my very first episode of my stuff. So.
Cool.
Nice.
Andy.
Well, let's see. There was a thing on Sunday, something about some guy hanging around and and that was a good thing. And but then there was somebody else trying to kind of take over. But yeah, so that was the thing. And I ate a lot of food. I ate a lot of red meat and prime rib.
Mhm.
That was good.
Yo.
Nice.
And I really pushed it at the gym, and I'm very, very sore still. And it's raining a lot, so there's that.
Hmm.
Cool.
Helps the grass grow.
Yeah. And Tyler, it's been a while, but you're back.
Yeah, thanks for
How's
having
your
me.
week been, man? Yeah, my pleasure, dude. How's your week been?
Kind of boring, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Just working a lot. I got a new book that I'm writing, so my free time, I'm pretty much just home working on the book, and that's about it. I don't really have much to say there.
Cool. I know Canadian Spider-Man's in there somewhere. He might be in there somewhere. I don't know.
That's
But,
right.
yeah. My week's been okay. You know, Easter was pretty good. It's chill. Did a podcast and
And it was a good podcast.
yeah, it was fun. It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. We went in depth on a lot of things, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, it's been a chill. I ended up working all day under a house today, so I'm like really sore. I have to do it all over again tomorrow, but worth it.
Awesome.
The amount of money I'm gonna make off of it, well worth it. Yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, been a pretty chill week.
Yeah.
I'm just getting ready for a segment that we're about to get into. So let me pull it up. I should pull up these things beforehand, because why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this segment, guys.
Twitter.
Yes. Now, twist only because I was running a little late getting new stuff.
Right.
Well, I was busy today, so I wasn't able to find any tweets, but I found some very interesting ones. And I thought, you know what? Let's do these because why not? And let me pull this up here. Large. All right, here we go. Here's the first one, everyone. This is probably the most base tweet. I don't know how you guys will feel about it. It was confusing at first. This guy went from simp to frat boy in 2 tweets. Some picture I don't know of a bunch of girls, college girls or something. He goes, I'd take every single one of those women and show them what real love and commitment is about. And then this Alti guy said, I sincerely hope they all see this. I really do. And then the guy goes, there we go. I can see. I don't know what the last is, but women like that just need a little ego shattering wake up call, and they will never come harder in their entire life than when they finally accept that. What are your thoughts of it?
What a pleasant human being.
I know.
Yeah. First of all, you're not going to teach any woman about love and commitment if you're talking like that about them.
Yeah.
Hands down. You're not. And you're not talking about love. You're talking about lust. Plain and simple, right? And essentially, it's because of people like you, not anybody in this chat, but that guy that makes a post like that, you're the reason why the whole misogyny thing is happening probably right now. So congrats, guys. You just gave men-women relationships further back, like about maybe 30 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Andy, what are your thoughts on it? I don't know if he's like trolling them. That's the thing. I don't know if the guy who went simp to frat boy, I don't know if he's trolling or not.
This is a very important part of societal development. It's to understand that not everyone has your best interest at heart, which is why you have to have your best interest at heart. you have to use this thing on top of your head that's usually like, on women, it's usually that thing inside all the pretty stuff that they spend all the time doing. And they fail to use it a lot because, like, anybody who believes a guy, like, just assume that the guy's lying to you. Like, it was a great experience. Like, this weekend, my daughter went away to visit her best friend who lives up at the top of the state. And, kind of concerned about her. She's getting close to New York there. There's like, it's an hour and a half drive away, hour and 45-minute drive away. But, you got to let your kids grow up. And so I was talking to her when she got home about, like, when she's, guarding her drink and she's carrying it around like this. And, she's making sure that she's like, and I said, God, I'm so glad I made you paranoid. And she was like, you know what? So am I. Like, because I didn't have to worry about things. And that's what you have to do. You have to look at things. Look, the dating scene is a sales pitch, okay? And you have to assume that the salesman is lying. He's trying to, like, tell partial truths and tell you all the good things about stuff, but he's not telling you the downside. He's not talking about the price. He's like, because that's how you sell things. You get people to say yes, yes, yes. Next thing you know, they've agreed to buy something. And what he's doing is he's basically showing his hand, like, and like they're all like, oh yeah, wouldn't that be great? He's like, no, I'm a scumbag piece of shit, and I'm going to abuse the hell out of you, like, but they're see, we have to accept that a lot of women out there, they have this tendency where they deep down they kind of want to be, maybe there's some daddy issues or whatever, and they may want a little of that, like, it's the bad boy thing, right? It's that the guy who's going to, like, treat you like shit and you're going to change him. Like, we've seen it over and over and over again. And anybody who's a nice guy has been dumped for that asshole guy. And, we see it over and over again. And as we sit back and we watch and we're like, are you really going to fall for this? Yep, you're really going to fall for it. And then it happens again. And you're like, and then they come around like, I never really appreciated you. And, we have to be aware that, like, of our nature, like men tend to be a little too, like, we like to white knight and we like to jump in there. Other men like to use people and lie to them and stuff. But you have to become aware of your weaknesses, your your shortcomings. And this guy is actually, if people are paying attention, he's telling you exactly what his game plan is. He's telling you what he's up to. So you can learn from it, or you can just be stupid and laugh and then, like, wake up and, like, I wonder why that guy never called me back. Well, guess what? There you go.
Yeah. Let's go to the next one, shall we? There we go. Rod, well, clearly he likes to tweet out all the... Oh, I get this one. Okay. So this is really funny. Twitch now says that you can no longer call others simp, incels, and virgin. As they are now against TOS. I don't know what TOS is. I don't care.
Terms of service.
Terms of service. See, I should know that. And then I do care. I do care about terms of services.
Surprise.
It's this middle school, like, let's shorten the words down a bit, man. Okay. Along with any emotes relating to the term simp. People online are absolutely overusing these terms, that they're meaningless, and losers constantly misuse terms like simp to attack anyone who says anything nice about women. Not all the time. However, this likely won't address either of these problems so perfectly on brand for Twitch rules. And then he says this: please don't call me a simp. I will report you to the Twitch police and internet authorities. Thanks. Guys, what the hell is it, internet authorities? Literally, what is it? I don't get it. Tyler, what are your thoughts about this? The last one.
Honestly, man, words hurt. You just got to suck it up, dude. If somebody calls you a simp, why are you going to let that ruin your whole day? It's to the point where you're going to go on the internet and cry about it. Man the fuck up. I'm sorry.
Well spoken. Well spoken. He would love our show, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Especially this segment.
Yeah.
Canadian Spider-Man, what are your thoughts of poor baby McGee?
Yeah. I see what he's saying because sometimes, sometimes women actually deserve it's possible to compliment a woman without being a simp, and sometimes I have thrown out compliments to women that deserve it online. They've earned it, just like I would a man, and you get some Yahoo saying you're a simp for saying that. No, that's, you clearly don't understand what a simp is. It's okay to compliment a woman if she's earned it, and you're not trying to get something out of it. You're not expecting something out of it, and you're doing the same for a woman that you would for a man. If a dude had done the same thing, you'd compliment him in the same way. So that's not being a simp, and it is possible to compliment women without being a simp. And I think that's what this guy was getting at, but he totally. Some people don't get it. They just don't get it.
Yeah. And then I think Tom, the Hummer over there.
What?
I'm gonna roast you, man. You got this like wannabe 1990s. I swear you're stuck in 1990 right now.
Technical
Michael Moore.
difficulties. Yes.
Michael Moore. What?
Michael Moore.
I never mind his earlier stuff, so I don't know.
What are your thoughts? Were you here when we saw it, or were you still trying to figure out, should I go with the 21st century camera or the 20th century camera?
That's a 1080p.
Yeah.
720. I have a backup 720, but I'm not going to on the 1080p. But it's still really dark here, so yeah.
Now we call them walkies and talkies.
Transistor
Rotary.
radios.
So what did you see the tweet, or do you want me to bring it up?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. No.
Okay, well, I'll bring it up.
Yeah. Make sure you got the right vacuum tubes plugged in there. So
yeah. Vacuum plugs. So I don't know if you can see it because we're all kind of covering it because our big heads. But this guy's pretty much complaining about Twitch and the rules and terms of services. And he said, please don't call me a simp. I will report you to the Twitch police and internet authorities. Thanks.
Oh, yeah. That doesn't exist. There's no internet. Well, not in most of the world. Canada has internet authorities, but most of the other world.
Yes.
Yeah, we have censorship here. Yeah.
Wait, there is internet authorities? I wonder who that person is. It's like
I don't know. If I post a news thing on, say, Facebook, it says this cannot be broadcast on Canadian Facebook, and you can't read it. We have censorship in Canada. It's pretty pathetic.
I can't imagine why.
I don't know.
Like California.
Keep buying ammo, guys. Keep buying ammo.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think it's just stupid. I'm gonna report you to the internet authorities. What? Okay.
And your mom. I'm gonna tell your mom.
Yeah,
too.
We will call you. We'll contact your mom. So this is one that was very interesting. I don't know if it's real. If it is, this is going to be an open point where we can rip into this person because of what they say is very weird. My daughter is on OnlyFans, Pornhub, and more. I didn't know there was more. And she is thriving. I am proud. I am the proud father of a sex worker. I want to say this is a troll, but I have no idea because it's worded out really well. For all you insecure bigots wondering if I watch her content, of course I do. Would you not support your daughter's work? She is happy doing what she does. Thus, I am happy for her and her husband. Wow, that's a change of a twist right there.
Okay,
does anybody? Okay,
your daughter, sure. Watching your work? What the hell?
Now, is this a troll account or is this real? That's what I want to get out in the open right now.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
It could be real these days.
There's a good
So
chance it
from
might be
Alabama.
real. I mean, just a quick instance. I was on X. I don't really ever go on X anymore, but when I was checking her stuff and checking the comic stuff and everything, I was like, there's this one girl called Bunny on it. She's an adult worker. She already under a year has bought her own home. I'm like, I'm struggling. How in the hell do you can afford a home in today's economy? Oh, but
Since
yeah, the Sims will pay enough. She now has a home, and she's only like early 20s. I'm like, what the? Oh my gosh.
The only thing that's thriving is the possible STDs incubating inside her pleasure hole.
Well, I guess the home. See, that's the thing is the internet ones only need one partner, and they usually get tested regularly. A lot of times, they're not in the industry, so they can only have the one partner. That's the thing about all these individual, independent ones. So,
And if Daddy is watching her working,
Well, someone
well,
said in the chat.
golly,
Hold up.
something
Someone
must be ham-
someone in the chat on YouTube said maybe he's watching her husband.
true.
Cap.
Now there's a lot of questions. We'll get into the topic, and then we have Ombre or Senorita segment coming up soon because that's always fun. And I picked it out real good for you guys. Good luck. I just think it's wrong. Like, I get where a father wants to support his daughter and all this stuff. Let's say, for argument's sake, it is a real actual account. It's not a troll. And I get it. If a dad wants to support his daughter, cool. But
Watching
picking
her work,
battles,
like what the hell?
yeah, that's a little. That's.
You can
you
support her, I
think
guess.
Do you think they talk about it over like family brunch or something? Like, oh, I really like this video.
I
Honey,
don't really want to be around that if that happens. Like, that'd be an awkward conversation.
yeah. It's so weird.
Like, sweetie, you must be working out trying that position. Like, what the?
I know.
Oh, Daddy, I'm so glad I took those contortionist lessons at the age of 6.
Anyways, so tonight is
No, you're
kind
muted,
of
Andy.
we're wrapping up. Or what were you gonna say, Andy?
At some point, you're going to have to, like, it's all great that you can afford a home. Okay, you can go rob a bank, you can embezzle money, you can sell drugs. At some point, you're going to have to explain this to your children, and you're not going to want them to copy that behavior. You're setting yourself up for a fall too, because you're wrapping your self-value up in the physical nature of yourself, which is temporary at best. Anybody who celebrates their child going into, well, first of all, if you brought them up with some kind of moral guidance, I can't understand how a woman is going to go into this line of work without some idea about, am I doing this just to piss off my father or something else? It's like it's not something you can look back on and be proud of. You're not doing great work. I mean, you're showing your butthole that everybody's got. It's like I can't understand why porn makes so much money when it's so freaking free on the internet. Like, it doesn't really matter. There's nothing.
It's free.
Yeah, there's no quality about yourself that you're doing. There's nothing you've studied, trained, exercised, built up, learned skills, and perfected a craft to achieve a level of success. Those people can look back and have some pride in their work. I bent over backwards and showed my butthole while somebody's giving me a rim job. It's like, oh wow, and you afforded this nice house. Like, yeah, but you're still, everybody's seen your butthole, and everything else you own. And right now there's a big thing out there about all these, guys that are upset about a body count. Yeah, well, you know what? I don't want to go and, go rooting through the garbage can at Burger King for my Whopper. I want a nice, pristine burger that has only been touched by the cook and the robot that, manufactured it. And I want to sit down and I want to have it. And I don't want a soda that everyone else has drank out of on the way. I mean, does anybody really want to go to a party and say, oh, you're with Sally? Listen, does she still do that thing with her tongue when she's like, and like, well, oh, that's not just special to me. No, there's nothing special just for you, because she's already given it away to everybody else. And that goes the same way for guys. If you're going to be some kind of a pig, and like, and everybody's like, imagine that, like, your woman wants to be proud of you, and she wants to be like, and she shows up at the party, and like, and she's like, and like, walking around like this, and then somebody says to her, like, listen, don't act so proud. I've seen what he's packing, or I've seen how long he lasts, or something like that, or like, or he gave me like, some kind of chlamydia or some shit, whatever. It's not something that should be. If you see your kid doing this, like, no, you see your kid doing something wrong, you don't support them. You don't support them, like, and this is going to give you lots of issues going forward. So, yeah, not a good thing.
Yeah. So tonight is kind of the end of. I didn't realize this was an actual segment we went into, but throughout the past, I think 2 months we've done it, where it's like we talked about ego and all these different things that, like, personal traits that guys have that were younger. And there's some guys who are in their 40s, maybe 50s, that still do this, have an ego, always pick fights and all these things. It wasn't a planned series, but it ended up being like that. And tonight perfectly summed up how selfishness. It pretty much sums up everything of what we've talked about the past few weeks, maybe I think 2 months actually. I'm not sure. But I wanted to go around the table, and we'll start with Tyler, because I can randomly pick whoever I want. So be prepared. Be prepared. It can be a funny story. It could be serious. Up to you. When was a time that you were selfish?
I think I sort of have selfish tendencies, not meaning to. I'm one of those people where I get kind of uncomfortable with silence, and I recognize that if I'm asking you about your day, what's new, and giving me short one-word answers, I'm going to start to feel uncomfortable, and I'll just keep talking, and I tend to just keep talking about myself, and I'll walk away from the conversation like, fuck, it's kind of self-centered of me. That was a little bit selfish, I think. But it is good to have a little bit of selfishness. I don't know if you can call it that, but just making sure you're not always putting everybody else ahead of you. You need to make sure you're also taking care of yourself without being a doormat. So it's a fine line to walk, but a little bit of selfishness isn't the worst thing. It's when you're selfish all the time, not, caring about the needs of others. Then, yeah, you're an asshole and nobody is going to want to be around you. The end.
Canadian Spider-Man, what about you?
Yeah, well said. Follow up on that maybe a little. For example, if recently within this last year, there's been a couple of people who I've had to cut ties with for selfish reasons, and it was self-preservation of some mental sanity a little bit. Just to eliminate drama and the constant drama, I had to act in a selfish way that I think was positive, and just eliminate a couple of contacts from my life that there was some negative drama associated with, and that is being selfish, but it's selfish in a good way. Now, I also used to, I also used to be tasked with bringing treats home from school, from the canteen, to my little brother who wasn't in school yet at the time. And having sat with it all day on my desk, sometimes I would open it up and maybe eat half of the chips out of the old aluminum foil bags. Yeah. And then seal it up and swear that that's how they sold them to me. So So I haven't always been selfless. I have been selfish, and I apologize to my little brother, and I've since bought him chips many times.
Mr. Cranston.
There's a difference between selfishness and self-interest.
Right.
Selfishness, I equate it to if you like cookies and you want to go work hard and sacrifice, your spare time to make more money so you can buy more cookies, that's self-interest. When you want to go in and you want to buy all the cookies so nobody else can have them, that's selfishness. And selfishness is destructive, and self-interest is productive. As Canadian Spider-Man was saying, that there's he had to cut ties with some people who were being detrimental to his life. That's self-interest. It's not selfishness. Now, if you're somebody who's just like nobody, what you should be looking for is cooperative production. So like everybody gets something out of the equation. Like I benefit, you benefit. It's like, say Mike is producing a piece of art for someone and he gives them price. So he gives them something of value, the art piece. They give him something of value, money. They're both self-interested. They're both like, now if the guy who buys the art piece goes and chucks his wife's crap off the wall and puts up, Mike's Transformer poster, all right, he's being selfish. That's probably not a good thing. And it's against his self-interest because he's not getting laid the rest of the month. Now, but if he goes and hires Mike to do something like that makes I don't know, something that a woman would like, whatever that might be. But say it's a picture of Fabio or something. So, and he's going to get that for her so that he can put it on the wall. So that way, when she feels nice and he can go out with the weekend hunting with the guys. And that's kind of like, well, now I can't say no because see, it's self-interest. It's not selfishness. Yeah. You're giving the other person something of value and you're getting something of value too. Very important distinction.
Yeah. So
Buzzy hasn't gone yet.
Buzzy, hey there, Sam Wolfer. Tom. That's could be your call sign, I think. Buzzy. I don't know yet. We got to get one for you. You're muted.
Newbie. New Brunswick, newbie. There you go.
Yep.
At least mine isn't too queer. So
Having a lot of technical.
I don't think anyone's is
There
too
we go.
weird.
But no. I'm not saying I'm not selfish. I'm by no any means an angel. But most of my life, I've always been awkward, weird, and quiet. I always gave too much, and that's something I actually, believe it or not, only recently, and I'll admit to this, only literally the last month, I have become a little bit more selfish. I've had to put boundaries on friends because I was one of those ones I'd let people walk over me, and I was always and I hated that. But I always like to appease the people. I want everybody to be happy around me. That's so I mean, I guaranteed I've done selfish things in my life. We all have. But I've always been trying to be the one that tried to be selfless and lend money to people, which they owe me thousands of dollars, this and that. And I was stupid. I'll admit it. I'm a moron for doing it, but I always like to help people. But literally, I'm not even kidding, the last few months, I started to set boundaries, and some people are getting angry because they're used to me being that. And I said, no, I'm tired. Am I doing it for, I think, more selfless reasons more than selfish reasons? But I mean, the wrestler Chris Jericho said it good one time. He said it's good to be cocky and selfish a little bit, like say in the industry of acting or pro wrestling. It's good to have a touch of that, just not overdo it, I guess. And I believe to an extent it's good to have a little bit if you're in that industry, in the acting, pro wrestling, something like that, to be able to push yourself and stuff. But all in all, I mean, selfishness is, I've never understood it. I'm lucky to have parents that were raised very selfless themselves and gave so much to other people. My father would help anybody around him. He wouldn't ask for a dime, and stuff. He just, so I'm lucky I had been raised by them. But recently I have become slightly selfish, or because I need to set boundaries with people, because some people eventually just push over the boundaries. So,
yeah.
Well
That's
said.
not like, you do bring up a good point. Like, setting boundaries, that's
Mm.
fine. That's not even selfish. That's more of like, this is for my mental health.
It feels selfish because I'm not used to it, eh? It's like, well, this
Right.
is yeah.
Like, for me, it's the same way. I was going on a lot of pop culture shows, and there's a point where it's like, I need to focus on my health. Like, I can't be doing this
Yeah.
all the time. I have a marriage to focus on. I have my health. Like, can't be doing the same. Like, it gets to you. So there's a point where it's like, it's okay to actually step back and be like, hey, look, I got boundaries I need to set up. If
Yeah.
people don't like it, that's on them. That's not you. You're just like, hey, look, I'm looking out for myself, like, for mental reasons and health reasons, and that's okay. That's okay. Who's next? Who hasn't gone?
Me.
Oh, there you go.
Who said
Oh,
me?
Me.
1,000
Oh,
subscriber,
you-
man.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
All right.
Um,
They're batting 1,000.
Yeah, yeah. Hey. Yeah, no, I mean, there were times in when I was younger that I was I was legitimately selfish with a few things, like eating an entire loaf of cheese bread one time.
Jesus, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Nice.
parents were out. It was right there. What are you gonna do? So, it was tasty. I couldn't. Oh my god.
catch me now, Mom.
Yeah. Oh no. But I couldn't outrun my dad. I'll tell you that much. Jeez. Oh yeah. He laid into me on that one. You ate the whole cheese bread? You're the most selfish. Oh my god. I'll never forget that one. Or I don't know, taking one too many cookies or something like that off the plate when you shouldn't have, or something like that. I'm kind of like Tom in this sense. I've never really been a selfish person. I've generally always looked out for a lot of other people over many years. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a caring kind of guy or something like that. But yeah, there comes a point where and I know that everybody else has kind of mentioned it before, that you have to be a tad bit selfish when it comes to looking after yourself. And that's not really being selfish in that sense as it is anyway. Because if you don't take care of yourself, who's gonna?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, maybe there might be a few people. Maybe there's actually a caring wife that might take care of you, maybe later on down the road. But then again, that's few and far between, especially with the way things are going today anyway.
Well, at least you're in Canada. You've got that Kevorkian care.
Well, yeah,
That's
that's true too. But that's an easy out, So I'll be dying kicking and screaming that way. Well, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think there's really ever been a time that I've been like, just downright, greedy, selfish. Because everything I do, see, this is the thing, right? Because I grew up in a Christian household, and it was kind of, I don't want to say it was drilled into me, but at least from what my mom and dad always said, if you're going to do something, do it for God, right? And so to have that servant type of mentality. And so I've always kind of tried to keep that in mind, whenever I was doing something. So, but yeah, there are times when you're doing maybe certain jobs and whatnot, and no, I'm not going to say maybe. Yeah, there were times where I had to deal with clients that were pretty unruly, let's put it that way, or just very difficult. So, there were times where I would charge maybe a little bit extra. I don't know if that's exactly selfish in a sense. Maybe it kind of is. it's like, you know what? Okay, after the way you treated me, I'm going to charge you a few bucks extra. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, it's like
I don't know. I don't know if I
it's-
can really call that selfish, but
It's like
Here we
some
are.
construction workers, they'll charge a Biden supporter a little extra because they're Biden supporters.
well, yeah.
I mean,
So
I'm sure we're
can you
spoiled.
blame them? No.
no.
If you want an example of selfishness, it's like the last time I was out in California, and we stopped to eat, and we're in the men's room, and Steve decides to steal all the tampons from the dispenser in the men's room because it's
I
California.
believe that.
Dare
I
you?
believe
And
that.
it's like, I might need one of these, for my wife. Like, but let me take 25 extra just to be sure. That was selfish.
Yeah.
It's very selfish. I mean, what happens when Dylan walks in there and
It's true.
oh, never
Yeah.
mind.
Andy, we're not supposed to mention about this, okay?
Selfish.
Look,
Someone else.
Actually, believe it or not, Dylan actually gave them all away to actual women, which I give him credit for.
because I
that.
gave it to Dylan.
Well,
Here's your
there we go.
25 tampons, dude.
Yeah, give them to some women.
Something about me is when I was selfish, because I think when I was younger, I was always picked on, so I wanted to be pushed back a little bit, and it was always the lifesaver mints. I would just take them. It was mine. Like, you all picked on me. Your mom had, like, if I went to a guy who like picked on me and like he had to, like, his mom forced him to invite everyone on the block to his birthday party, and I would see like kind of like a bowl of candy, I would stuff them in my pockets like they're mine. Like, it's more of like getting back, but it's like selfish. And then I get home and I'm like, well, what am I gonna do with all this stuff? Like, I just,
Yeah.
is your birthday near Halloween? Because perfect.
Are you the kind of guy that
Sure.
picked out all the pretzels out of the snack mix? Are you that bastard?
Yeah, I'm proud
Probably.
of it. What are you
There
gonna
you go.
do? Well, I'm the type of guy that like if I had like Lucky Charms, that's like my favorite cereal, I would
Yeah.
save the marshmallows for later.
Hmm.
I would do my best to
Oh.
eat everything else but the marshmallows. Like, that was my thing. Like, it's just, I think also it's just, I was always selfish against my younger brother. Like, it was
Hmm.
stupid, petty things. It's like I would just try to do everything I can to make it about me and just, no. And it never worked out. It was just a learning thing.
Yeah.
But it's weird how that works out because everyone has a different way of doing things. But we come to my favorite segment. Not just, there is the simp tweets. Those are fun. But
Yeah.
this one is my favorite because you guys, let's just get started, shall we?
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
The reason why this is my favorite segment is because you guys have no idea what I have prepared for you guys.
It's a shot in the dark.
I'm scared.
The sound. I told Tyler this. What was it? Yesterday or 2 weeks ago, or through the lot. It was one of the times I hung out with you, and I think it was yesterday that I said, "Look, I'm going to do Hombre or Senorita,"
Mhm.
and this was after you agreed. Like, yeah, I'll be on. I was like, well, guess what I'm doing, and it's the sounds you guys make. I'm talking to you, Tom, Mike, and Canadian Spider-Man.
Hey,
You all make this
hey.
certain-
Hey, what's with the
you
New
make-
Brunswickers? Hey, leave us Maritimers alone. We're good
No,
people.
it's
Get
because
hurt.
you make this sound.
Eh?
Oh, yeah. That's true. Huh.
You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh."
Yeah.
So this segment is
We better be
Hombre
careful,
or
or else that's going to
Senorita.
be a standard Canadian thing, like A.
Wait,
And-
you don't broadcast this in Scotland, do you?
No. Although I could. This segment is
should.
where I have a few pictures. And the panel has to figure out if it is pretty much a tranny or a chick. One of the two. There is no in between. So I try to make it more difficult. Let's just get into it, shall we, guys?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Buzzy. Oh, let me set this up first. Hey,
Buzzy.
how you doing?
Well, I did get a
Buzzy.
haircut, so yeah, it's not Buzz. Yeah.
Now, is that a hombre or a senorita?
Oh God, that's a senorita. Not a really annoying one at that.
That's the lady.
I don't know about that. She's a senorita, but I don't know. Call her a
not
lady.
a lady.
I don't know what the hell it is.
That's not a lady.
I've seen ladies, and that's no
Canadian
lady.
Spider-Man just said that in the most disappointing possible way. Like, oh,
So
that's
annoying.
not a lady.
Yeah.
Dang it. Andy.
Talk about false advertising. Someone named Joy that is that joyless.
I know.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah.
The title "Hound of the Baskervilles" comes to mind for me. So
Mom loves
Yeah.
that show. When I'm down at the house, sometimes she has that on. I'm like, why?
yeah, or maybe something of the female persuasion of dogs, but definitely not a lady. So
I think when she talks, dogs can hear her like the dog whistle, but that's about it.
yeah, that's
All
probably
right,
it. Like,
Canadian Spider-Man. I have one for
Oh,
you.
that is.
You ready?
Yes.
No, not that one. Not Joy. He's all like, "Yeah, I'm excited."
I have some
Hombre,
choice words to say.
hombre, or senorita?
oh,
Ooh, that is a lady. Hello.
That's a lady. All right.
That is a lady, gentlemen. I recognize what that is. I know what to do
All
with
right.
that.
Tyler, or I should say, brother Tyler.
I hope that's a lady. If so, she's very pretty. If it's a dude, that guy's really good at doing makeup. But I'm gonna go with it's a woman.
All right, Mike,
dude,
dude.
I'm gonna say dude. Yeah, gonna say dude.
Buzzy. Oh, he skipped out. He's like, I'm done. I can't play this anymore.
You have
Andy.
to answer.
That's a man, baby.
Or boy.
All right, so that's a dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Tom's all looking up close, like, how can I know? See, I love this. This is fun. I love this. Oof, this looks creepy.
Yeah.
How?
I've
Buzzy.
seen ladies that look like that.
Hombre or senorita?
Oh,
I've always
God.
wondered.
Her. It.
It's familiar.
Who is
I
it?
saw those wrecking ball shots. That she's female.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Definitely.
can all
Yeah.
agree?
Definitely female. Totally female.
Yeah,
we
I'm
can
gonna
all
say,
agree.
Definitely female.
Yeah.
Jeez, have you seen the video of the one where the car's in an accident going with the glass flying everywhere and she's crawling from the back seat into the front seat? I recommend that video.
Crawling from the
All right, Canadian Spider-Man. You ready for the next one?
I don't know at this point. Sure. I feel like I should go put on my hockey equipment.
We're gonna have to see a
Bum, bum,
psychiatrist after
bum.
this, maybe.
Yeah.
Canadian Spider-Man he's fighting it. All right. Hombre or senorita?
Oh, yeah. No, I knew who that is actually.
Is that Tulsi Gabbard?
Nope.
No.
I know
No.
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 That's
Don't give it away. Just let him guess.
that looks like a girl. Yeah, I'm
All
gonna
right.
say that's a pretty good looking
Tyler.
girl. Yeah.
I don't know. I was wrong last time. I'm just gonna assume that they're all guys at this point, and if they're not, all right, Steam. Sorry about it, but I'm gonna go guy.
All right, it's a guy.
Kind of. Oh,
Canadian
no.
Spider-Man. You suck.
I didn't even answer. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Mike didn't answer.
Well, you
Did
know
you-
who it is. I
Looks
know
like-
you know.
I know who it
Claire
is. It's
White.
Claire White. She.
Yeah.
Yeah, she transitioned at 29. She's against all. She's actually very conservative. And she's against all this bullshit with children and everything. She said, "No, if you want to transition when you're an adult, fine, but leave kids alone." I actually respect her, and I will call her because she's pretty awesome. So,
And
she's
Looks like Valerie Bertinelli. Whom
and
I
she
had a crush
says
on.
that she is she's intact, and she said there's a difference between biological women and trans women.
Yeah, they always say if they find my body when I'm dead, they're going to say you're a man. She doesn't deny that she's a biological man still. Like I respect her a lot. And she loves guns too. She has some cool gun videos.
JCVM in the Rumble chat, he goes, okay,
Yes.
fuck this. I'm never dating again.
Yep.
Okay.
True.
Mike, I have one for you.
Okay. Here we go.
All right.
Ooh, let's see. Yeah, that is 100% unequivocally, without a doubt,
A Karen.
a bitch.
Hey.
I've seen Embrace of the Vampire.
Yeah.
So she's female, but she is proof that you can live without a brain.
That's right.
Yes.
Like a zombie. A retarded
I
zombie.
didn't recognize her.
What?
Alyssa Milano.
Really? Alicia Milano.
Really?
Who's the
That's
boss?
Alyssa Milano?
Yeah.
Who's the
She
boss?
was-
Yeah.
She was my biggest
Oh,
crush
I know,
growing up,
but-
and now
I
I
know.
freaked out as an adult because she's kind of an idiot
Wow.
now. But I was
All right, Andy,
yeah, huge crush on her as a kid.
Yeah,
here's one for
Milano.
you. All right.
Spaceship.
Hombre or senorita?
You can't see the throat, so like they're doing the pose with the head down, the chin's blocking the neck. The arms are kind of muscular. The shoulders are pretty wide. I'm going to say there's a good chance that's a guy, but yeah, I'll say it's a guy.
All right. Tom, Buzzy.
So, she looks like one of the metal singers I found. There's a lot of good, cool female metal singers. She looks a lot like one of them. I'm going to say it's a girl, but yeah, it's hard to say because there's some pretty male-looking female metal singers out there. So she looks like one of them, but I'm not. I'm going to say it's a girl.
All right. Tyler.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at the throat. I'm looking at the weird skinny tits. Guy? I think it's
All right.
guy.
Mike.
Dude.
All right. Canadian
That's a
Spider-Man.
That you've got some beautiful women on here tonight. That's a woman.
So that's a woman? That's Megan Fox.
That's Megan Fox.
That was
What
right.
happened?
Yay.
That's Megan Fox.
I couldn't even see the thumb. If I would have saw the thumb, I would have been able to tell.
By the way,
I
I'm going
did
to
it-
say
I-
right now, we look at the throat, right? Do you know they had throat shaving? So it's even harder nowadays. They'll
Yeah.
shave the Adam's apple off.
All right. I got two more. You ready, Canadian Spider-Man?
I don't. I want my mom or something. I don't.
I
know.
will say Megan Fox there looks a lot.
This
worse.
segment is my favorite because Canadian
know.
Spider-Man is such a confused person right now. I threw him curveballs left. Yeah, you DM'd me or someone sent me this and he goes, I'm just very confused
Just
right
don't
now.
throw any balls my way, really.
All right. Canadian Spider-Man. Hombre or senorita?
Oh, no, that's well, damn. I mean, it's too old for me, but that's a girl.
All right. Mike.
Okay. Judging by the graininess of the picture, and let's see, I'm gonna have to say with the cheekbones, eyes, I'm gonna have to say this is a girl, a woman.
All right.
Yeah.
Mike. Or Buzzy.
Woman.
Woman, yeah. Woman. She looks
Woman?
familiar. Yeah. That is correct.
Tyler.
Girl? I don't know. I'm just straight up guessing at this point. But
We're all going to need therapy at the end.
Welcome to the show again.
Andy.
Well, first of all, okay, let's be honest here, okay. There's a lot of women out there that like you pick them up, you go home, and like you wake up in the morning and the makeup is smudged off on the pillow, and you're like, "Geez," like that's kind of scary. I mean, we've seen these makeup transformations, so and you're not going to like make this decision. Like there's an art form to this. Like you go out and you're at a club and stuff like that. You you got to watch. You got to see how things are and stuff like that. Like if you see girl out in the dance floor and she's sweating and stuff like that, if she has to do the shift, where you pull the scrotum away from your legs, that's a tell. That's something you got to watch out for. Now, a picture like this is kind of difficult. Picture like this is like it looks like a woman, so and that's
You're
the goal.
skirting.
That's the thing. It's
You're
like
skirting. What's
so
your
I'm gonna
choice?
say, this one's it looks like a woman, but I'm watching. I'm watching for that sticky scrotum shift.
Sticky scrotum.
So what's
I'm
your
using
choice?
that one. I'm stealing that Andy. The sticky scrotum shift.
I think it's a woman, but I'm not going home with it till like I see what do you stand up to pee or do you sit down? And not just because you're a little soy boy.
It's a dude.
Wow.
Oh God, really?
It's a Ivanka transgender lookalike.
Huh.
Oh God.
So it looks like okay. I know it looked familiar, but yeah, no, it's okay.
Wow.
All right, so we're gonna get to our last.
That's just good makeup jobs. It's like you can make anybody look. I mean, look at Hollywood. You see a lot of these people without makeup, and you're like, I mean, look at The View. Those makeup artists on The View should get paid very, very, very well.
Yeah, 6 figures.
That should be getting awards.
Well,
Yeah.
when I first saw the picture, I was like, that's Ivanka?
That's what I thought.
I was very taken back a little bit. And
They do a
then
good
they were
job.
like, no, it's a transgender. I was like, oh, it took me a few seconds just because of the graininess and the angle of it. I was like, that looks like Trump's daughter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but no. All right, our favorite one. We all know.
No.
I just want to put it
Okay.
up. The linebacker.
No.
Oh, there we go.
It's my favorite.
Dude,
That's a
on.
man, and you can't.
Who
together
doesn't like a good Big Mike
No.
joke?
exactly. Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
Oh man.
Dude,
That was
huge dude.
That was our segment of Yeah. You guys like that segment? Because
It's
I
a fun
do.
segment. It's great.
Canadian
Yeah.
Spider-Man, do you like the segment?
I
Are you gonna be
no,
okay?
I don't know yet.
You had to put a hockey helmet on him. He's confused.
I don't know, man. I just feel vulnerable all of a sudden.
You want a hug?
No one touched me.
He looks like he needs to be cross-checked. Or
I don't want to be touched ever again by anybody. Frankly,
Oh
I'm with KCVM. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Buzzy, how do you feel? Because
I-
I'll say
I-
this right now. The chat gets it right pretty quick.
no,
And
it-
Andy, I leave Andy. I don't have Andy guessing a lot, or if I do, I have him guess last, just because he's pretty good at spotting it. But it's usually I get a joy out of Canadian Spider-Man, Tom, and Mike because
Oh,
they
man.
all make noises right once they see it. It's like this whole gut reaction, which is
Yeah.
great. This is why I love this.
and it's not an
This is
offensive
why you
part. I
guys
actually
will
had
never see the photos
Oh,
because
yeah.
you guys can guess and figure it all out. It's a
I've had
Oh,
friends that
boy.
were cross dressers down in Montreal and stuff, and I've known some trans people, so that's why it's always surprising that you see it on the outwards. Like, wow, you want like Blair White. I knew her immediately. It's like, wow, boom, she's But yeah, generally, yeah, some of them are just it's hard to tell. And like I said, nowadays they can shave the Adam's apple, so you won't even have that eventually. You just have to.
I
really
knew
guess.
I knew most of you guys were gonna get the Megan Fox one wrong.
I knew she was a girl. I just
Yeah,
didn't
I'm kind of-
recognize her. She looks way worse than she used to. She had too much work.
Andy has to say something.
Well, look,
yeah.
she's had a lot of work done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you see somebody that's had a lot of work done, or did you have a lot of work done because you're trying to look like a woman, or are you just trying to like roll that clock back a little bit, like she's trying to do now? Like I got my issues with her because like she's got 3 transgender kids. Really, that is
Yeah.
statistically impossible. That
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah,
likely.
100%.
Yeah.
It's more likely that I'm going to like win the lottery 12 times in a row this weekend than for that to happen. So
Yeah.
either there's something wrong with mommy there, like that's projecting these issues, and it's like the meme going out there that you know, Mom, I don't want to cut my dick off. Like, Johnny, stop being so selfish. I'm the only one in my bridge club that doesn't have a transgender kid. It's like,
Yeah.
Now, on YouTube, Lady V Elements said Megan Fox is a dude. She admitted to it. Now, here's the thing: I've never heard her admit to it. So, at this standpoint, until I hear her actually say she admitted it, which I'll look into, she's a chick. If not, you never know. It's because them thumbs, those thumbs.
I've seen the
Those
pictures
are
of her in Jennifer's body. If she's tucking something, she's like, there's not much there to tuck because, like, there's doesn't leave much to the imagination.
Yeah.
She's tucking hard.
I'm sorry, but like I said, these families that have transgender children, it's like 0.04% that are actually have gender dysphoria and are actually trans. Most of it's just a bunch of mental issues and just nobody family can have trans children and all. It's rare, very, very rare. So it's just
So now that we got through the fun, because that's fun.
Makes a maritimer squeal.
it made
We have a health plan with this show.
What?
I have a warning before we start.
Does it cover therapy?
You will require therapy after every episode.
Maybe.
With the stress I dealt with before the show, this made my night. Just because I knew Canadian Spider-Man.
He got the helmet on, the hockey helmet on.
Yeah.
So he's ready for it
So
now.
tonight we're talking about being selfish, and there's a lot of guys who are.
Yeah.
And there's a whole selfless and selfish. Like, it's okay to be selfless. It's different. I wanted to go around the table and ask you guys, how can a guy who deals with being selfish, how can a guy get out of that rut? We'll go with Andy.
Well, first you have to realize that it's not really going to help you. The things that you think you want, there are, for example, I used to work with this guy, and his name is Steve, that reflects on anyone or any number of men on the panel. This guy wanted to get ahead in the company so bad. He would manipulate things, and he would be sneaky and backstabbing and all this stuff. And there was a guy that had worked for the company for a long time, had dealt with depression issues for many, many years, had a lot of friends in the company that had been around for 40 years. And it was, ironically, it was an Easter Sunday, and he self-deleted himself. And everybody in the store, we were very concerned, that because he had a lot of friends, and so we had to try and arrange the schedule, have people fill in and stuff, so that everybody could go to the services. And this guy Steve decides to open his mouth and say, "Well, this wouldn't be a problem if Paul's buddy didn't decide to eat a bullet instead of ham for Easter dinner." And this guy, he did this to set the other guy off, and he had other people sign grievances against him, so his hands were clean. But he got this guy, so long story short, his wife ended up leaving him. He got fired from the company, ended up selling potato chips. So when you're being selfish, it's going to come back on you. There is a karmic wheel, and sometimes it's like there's a the wheels of fate grind slowly, but oh so fine. It will come back to haunt you. So when you're selfish, it will encourage people to not help you. It will encourage people to leave you on your own. So it's not in the short term. That's why it's a childish thing to be selfish. Some people outgrow it. Some people don't. First step is become aware of it. And all you have to do is some basic math. When was the last time that you helped somebody else out compared to how many times you've asked somebody else for help? And if you've never paid them back in any way. you have to think like that. You have to be very self-aware about everything in life, and that will solve most of your problems.
Well said.
Yeah. Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was really well said, Andy. Yeah, self-awareness, 100%. Self-awareness. I used to be oblivious that if you go over to someone's barbecue or something, you take something with you. Sometimes as guys we don't think of things like that. Absolutely, self-awareness and looking at the bigger picture too. We've said this more than once on this show, is getting the 10-year view on things. Don't be so petty about things like that. And in the end, it ironically, it often comes back to you more than you give, funnily enough. So if you were truly selfish, you would be very giving, because somehow it often ends up that you get more back than you ever give. But having the 10-year look at things, not being so petty over things, and not being so insecure, and if you don't have money to give your time, don't be selfish with your time, things like that.
Yeah. Mike.
Yeah, what was the question?
I was thinking of a joke. I couldn't think of one that fast.
How to not be selfish.
Yeah, how do you mean?
Oh.
How, like, if you see a guy who's being selfish, like, how
Yeah.
would you approach that and be like,
Well,
snap out of it, dude, kind of thing? Not abusive, but just like,
no.
how would you teach a guy who's being selfish? Don't
Not
do
to be
that.
selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have to take the person aside and say, listen, karma's a bitch, plain and simple. It really is, and I mean, karma in the, karma kind of sense. And, there's an old computing term, garbage in, garbage out, right?
Mhm.
And, if a person is going to be selfish, don't be surprised one day that you're going to end up reaping the rewards of your greediness, basically, is what it boils down to, your selfishness. Because if you're consistently focused on you and what you can get out of something or somebody, in a particular situation or anything like that, eventually you're going to be found out for it. So, and it's as simple as that. And, like going back to what I said earlier, you really have to have that servant's heart to start thinking about other people and what you can do for them. Whether it's, financially, or like what Canadian Spider-Man said, of just maybe giving time or anything like that, because those kind of rewards they'll, for all intents and purposes, they're going to manifest, right? And they're just going to come back in such positive ways when you start giving of yourself instead of consistently thinking, what can I get out of this? Because essentially people are just not going to want to be around you, because you'll be found out for the type of person that you'll carry on to be if you keep on being selfish with everything and everyone. You're going to be found out as this black hole of, self-servingness.
Yeah.
Rather than somebody that generally just wants to give, essentially.
Yeah.
And if you can't give of yourself, you're gonna be a very lonely person in the end. Everybody's going to abandon you. Nobody's going to be around you. You're going to be found out for the type of person that you're still wanting to be when you're just totally self-centered and narcissistic and just totally into yourself.
But in a few years, those Japanese sex robots will be perfected.
That is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Invest in those things. 100%.
Yeah.
Would you like the attachment kit? No.
Canadian
Snap-on
Spider-Man wouldn't know
tools.
the difference.
But, no, I don't want to know. I'm a big fan of Japan.
Canadian Spider-Man. What?
Yeah.
Same question to you.
Yeah, no, I think I've answered. I did answer.
You did?
Yep.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
just
did.
grab the guy, pull his jersey up over his head, and go to town until he listens to you.
No.
In true hockey fashion.
Sometimes, yes, you got to drop the gloves and just.
Tyler.
It is important to approach it with a certain level of empathy. Because something you might not consider is there's probably a reason, or there could be a reason why they're selfish. Some people, if they grew up in extreme poverty or something, they didn't know what the next meal was coming from when they were kids. So they created these, patterns of behavior just for self-preservation. Like, they'll take all the food at a barbecue or something because when they were a kid, food wasn't always available. So they might do that, not even realizing they're pissing people off. So if it's someone you're trying to, keep that friendship alive, you could just talk to them and be like, hey man, so when you come over to this barbecue and you don't bring anything and you just eat all the food and then take leftovers, I get pissed off. Yeah, the other people get pissed off. It's seen as extremely rude. So what's going on here, man? So just trying to have that open communication and approach it by having healthy boundaries with it, that could help a lot because you never really know why somebody's like that. Or they could be fully aware that they're doing it. They don't care. If that's the case, cut your losses. I mean, the likelihood that they'll suddenly change to become a better person, probably not going to happen.
I feel like you were targeting that at me. Look, I love food. I'm kidding.
No,
You're a good cook. You're a good cook. Buzzy.
Yeah, I'm getting used to this now. What the hell? No. In all seriousness, though, I'll jump on that, Tyler. That's a good research. We got to look at their mental health first off. Like what have they been through traumas or anything wrong? And even talk to them. I've actually talked to some. Now, one thing I will say, and Mike used it as well, narcissism. I find a lot of it traits are with narcissists. A lot of times, I find that they think they're all that, and when in actuality, they're probably usually hurting inside. How would I talk to them? Usually, I just avoid that kind of people in general. I'm lucky. I've very limited myself, especially since the coof. I've really gotten away from a lot of people, and I just limit myself from those people completely. And if I know they're narcissistic, I know they're gonna be ignorant like that, and then just be self-serving and I just don't surround myself with that. Like I said, just recently, I've had to sound boundaries with old friends, even that are not really narcissistic, but just using. I've distanced myself. So luckily, I don't see that kind of behavior as much anymore because you can, even family. I hate to say it, I've actually had to distance myself from family because there's always that kind of person in your family that thinks that they're know-it-alls and that. And I love them, but I can't tolerate them. I can't. I'm sorry. And some of the radix, some of this, and I wish them well, but I need to better my own mental health. So I have to distance myself from that kind of behavior. I've never been like that. I've been the opposite, sadly. I've been used too many times and I've got stupid. So I recently, again, just started standing up for myself and say, no, I can be nice and I'll still help people if I get the opportunity, but I can't do it on behest of my mental health, which has been causing issues. So, but yeah, I've had people that are mildly narcissistic. I just sit down with them and try to tell them what they need to hear. But I hate to say it, 85 to 90% of the time, they're not going to listen. They're not. They're just going to want. The only way they're going to want to change is if they want to. You can't help somebody like that. So sadly, those selfish people are going to continue being selfish until they choose internally to better themselves as people. And sometimes I've seen it, but more often than not, no. But sometimes you never know. But it's up to them to want to do it. So
yeah, I always put someone who's selfish, who's ego, narcissist, who thinks of themselves before everyone else, um, that just comes across just as a cocky son of a crapper in a nice term. It's hard because I'm blunt. If I see someone who's acting, I want to go. I just because my filter is I don't know. Like if I go after the person, how well does that person know me? If I go after them and just not go after them in a bad way, but just say, hey, look, stop this. Like this doesn't benefit you in the long run. Is that person going to think like, oh, he's being really mean to me and all this stuff, or is he attacking me? Like what's going on? Because some people who are selfish, they don't really see it. It's like when you go to the gym, you don't get to see yourself progress in the workouts. Other people notice it before you do. And it's kind of a tricky situation. It's how is this person going to react? Is this person going to be sensitive and a complete? And the same goes for women also on this. There's a lot of women who are very selfish. I don't know how to go around that point because I'm not a woman, so I don't know. But I know that women can be selfish also. It's just it's not directly just a guy thing.
Yeah.
But when you get to the point where this is why I always say have close guy friends. Or for women, have close women friends.
Oh,
or
100%.
girlfriends, or whatever you want to talk about. Because they'll call you out on your bullshit. Like I have Gary call me out every single time. He'll defend me on a lot of what I say, but he'll pull me to the side and be like, look, that's pretty stupid. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And Andy will do the same. I know that for sure. And Mike, I guarantee you, everyone on this panel and who's been a part of the show, they will call me out. I know Tyler has before. We won't go down that path.
And that's what true friends are for, man. They can tell you the truth, but they'll have your back no matter what. And
But the thing is, the moment you become selfish is the moment you have to realize there's going to be some people that's going to come up to you and be like, hey, look, cut this out. Like whether it's just you're there, just there's a party. I'm not gonna bring anything, but I'm gonna eat all the things. Like I know a couple people like that. I'm not gonna drop any names. Tyler, you may know them, but all they do is just fucking eat all the food and give nothing back. And it's kind of like, geez, man, like. You want to give back a little bit? Like there's been hours of put into this. But there's also a point where it's like, when should we talk to the person? We just can't go up to the person, even though I would love to just take them to the side and be like, look, stop being an egotistical, narcissistic, selfish person. It's not about you. The world does not evolve around you. Even though you may act like it doesn't, on the outside, it does. And it's kind of that point where you're just kind of like, hey, chill out, dude. It's okay. Like I've learned it's better to be humble about everything. Like 100%. Like this show, it's not about me. Like I can literally walk off the screen. You guys can take over. The show's about you guys. Like it's a humble thing. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
So that's I always tell guys who are being selfish, just be humble. It's okay. You don't have to have everything. Having everything does not make you happy. Like, ooh, I like that. That's a good line. Yeah.
Don't ever doubt yourself. You're a heart of the show, though, too, sir. So I'm not.
Well, yeah, but it's.
I know what you're saying.
When you're sniffing right now or smelling right now is insulation from down below a house. That's all you can think about right now.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't sniff insulation. It's not
fun. No,
it's only asbestos.
Doesn't it off gas formaldehyde? I believe it does.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I was ripping out some rotted wood today, and we had to move insulation because we're putting it in tomorrow. We had to move it 20 feet away. And there's one dude that just dragged one and just went across my face. And I was like, and I was wearing a mask, and I was like, oh.
I've done
So all I
that.
can smell is
Dude.
insulation right now. So
Sounds fun.
yeah, I didn't write any questions down. Usually I do to look like a late night person like Craig Ferguson with all the quick cue cards. I didn't write them down. And I
That's
didn't
okay.
have a
We'll wing
poll.
it.
Yeah, I think we hit that. Like all the how you guys answered it is perfect. And I didn't come up with a poll. Dang it.
Speaking of polls, how did the poll go from last week?
Yeah, who was the
who's
manliest?
Oh.
man? Yeah.
Unlike liberals, I did not change the vote.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's why some people hate this show. You're bagging on liberals. Well,
See
guess
you
what?
later, Lady Elements.
What is it? Where is it? I took a screenshot.
Yeah,
of it.
see you, Lady B.
See ya.
What new poll
Bye.
here? I don't know.
Who was the poll?
Arnold and
It
Oh,
was
it was Stallone.
Yeah, it was
Arnold
Stallone.
and Finn's both.
Yeah, it was Stallone.
There we go.
Uh-oh. Hey, Canadian Spider-Man, you got $1
Yes. For what?
on Andy's screen.
What would the next?
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I got a loony all right his throat.
Da, 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 da.
So on that note,
I have a loony and a shotgun.
you have a.
There we go.
You're not confused right now. You're good. You're good. Until
He's good.
you know what's gonna happen is when I do ombre or senorita, that's not gonna save you, man.
Might.
Yeah.
Is I'm gonna pick. There's gonna be a day where I pick all women,
Can't
and
hurt.
Canadian Spider-Man at some point is gonna be like, dude.
We don't have a lot of experience
I'm gonna
with this
crack
up
him.
here.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
go
gonna
to those
part
sorts
those,
of
Steve.
establishments.
What?
See,
Steve.
you're just taking the internet's word that they're women. You don't really know unless you're taking those images from like the porn sites where because
No, okay. So here, okay, I'll
Oh, boy.
clarify. This is how I do it because there's someone that actually had a good question.
Hmm.
How do you look this all up? Well, here's the thing. I don't put porn or any of that stuff. No.
No.
It's very specific style of a photo where they're trying to hide their neck. And I just look up realistic transgender woman that looks close to a woman on Google.
Mm.
That's how I do it. So
Right.
it doesn't, I don't get it down the weird path because someone baited me by saying a certain name and I was like, who are you talking about? And that's where the segment came and I was like, okay, well, I have to do this segment. And
Nah.
it's because I got you, Mike. I got you.
You did.
Mike hated me on that one.
Yeah.
So that's how
Kudos
I do
to
it.
you.
I know. But it's more of the facial structures. Like how can guys know the difference? Clearly some of the guys on this panel need some figuring out. Canadian Spider-Man, I love you, man. You just was like,
Do you think-
me, I don't care.
Do-
Me, high five.
do you think your dog can tell a man from a woman? Or any of your dogs? Can dogs tell trannies?
Yeah.
Actually, they can. Yeah.
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 So guys, get a dog.
Get a dog and bring it with you on a
Go
date.
get a dog, Canadian Spider-Man.
Just for the
Know
crotches.
your date. Yes, first off.
Christopher Dominguez said in the chat on YouTube, YouTube and Rumble ban these types of content right away. What, this show?
The porn. No, the porn content.
Oh, yeah. They do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know about YouTube these days.
Yeah, right.
I don't know the rules now on YouTube. I don't.
And yet we're
But-
still here.
I know, right? Surprisingly,
Yeah.
we should be kicked off.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into one of my all the segments are my favorite. I just, I love the segments. They're fun. They're an icebreaker. They whatever. I'll shut up. We'll get to the next segment, shall we? That's right. It's tip of the hat, everyone.
The hat.
Yeah, I hope people on the chat on Rumble, YouTube, X, Twitter, whatever boomer name you want to call it, Tweety Bird. Something like that. No crow sounds. No, that was
Stop dead naming the platform, Steve.
I'm inside.
Yeah.
I'm
By the
inside.
way, does
Like-
anybody here actually do tip of the hat? Like if you cross the street, you let go in front of the car, or you let somebody go in front of you in the door.
I do.
I still do
I've
that.
done it.
I still like.
I've done it.
Here's the thing: in California, it makes people feel very weirded out when I do it.
Yeah, here in Maritimes, just yep,
Mm.
thank you for letting me go.
But
ahead.
I'll do it.
You know,
I'll tip the hat. I'll do the whole tip thing to the hat to a guy who's wearing a hat because he know instantly. But here's the thing: it's only to a guy who's like 50 or older that know that.
They'll get it.
Sometimes a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
So a younger person, they're like, "Ew, gross." I'm like, "Oh, shut up."
I still do it. Yeah. Like, thank you for letting me go, or whatever.
Like if you do it to a woman, they're like, "Ugh." I'm like, okay, you don't know. It's like when you're driving a truck in the Midwest and you do this whole like this thing, driving
Yeah.
to another guy in a truck. He'll do the same thing. It's or like in motorcycles where they'll just like do those like
Certain
weird.
wave in the motorbike. Yeah.
Yeah. See, tip of the hat. It's a gentleman thing.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
here on tip of the hat, I like to pull out of this old shrine hat. That's not a real Shriner's hat. But yeah, the lodge just gave it to me. They're like, "Here, have this." I was like, "What am I gonna do with this?" And then Gary gave me the idea of tip of the hat, and I was like, "Yes."
It's got a gerbil on it.
Buffalo
A
water.
gerbil? No, it's a trench rat, which I do need to make the hammer, Eleanor hammer. I'm gonna auction that off. I still need to make it. I've just been so busy I haven't been able to do it. But tip of the hat is where we pick out names that are men. Don't worry, Canadian Spider-Man. It's okay. This is
All men.
okay.
They're all
Yes.
men.
Unless
Ariel wins.
unless Michelle Obama and Dylan Mulvaney are still in there, then
Then
we'll pray for you.
There are several male actors.
Andy's
Their
face
names.
is like, what?
What's going on?
Oh, really?
Anyways, so we like to pick the name out and give a positive thing about that person who's masculine. And up next, we have Gene Hackman.
Wow.
Now, here, I should do this. Here's one thing before I get to the person who's going to answer first. If you don't know the person's name, it's okay. I'll just put you in the shun of the hat. So don't worry. That's a good
There's a
one. I should do
shun?
that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Mike, Gene Hackman, anything positive, masculinity about Gene Hackman?
Yeah. Plays a really good Lex Luthor. Dude, I mean, yeah. I know there's been lots of Superman films, over the years and all that kind of stuff. I think he plays the best Lex Luthor out of any of them, And I mean, God, he's been in so many films. Gee, I can't even name them all, but I mean, he plays a very, very strong male character in all of them. He is the roundabout versatile actor. I love watching him, right? And he just commands this strong persona, whatever role he plays, in whatever film he's on, right? Yeah, he's just a joy to watch. Because you're gonna get like basically a no bullshit type of acting coming from him. So
All right.
yeah. Gene Hackman.
Andy.
Legend.
What can you say about Gene Hackman that he didn't say so well in The French Connection?
Yeah.
He's a great actor and very. I never saw him put on a dress and drink Bud Light.
That's a bonus.
Wait. The bird cage.
So I will say this right before this is definitely a Buzzy question: most attractive woman in film, Scarlett Johansson or Gal Gadot? You want to answer? Go to rancorsteve, or make a sound like that, you weirdo. There's the voting. That's a Tom. That's a Tom question right there.
Well, they're both hot, and it's hard to pick. It's like
I put gorgeous just to be nice.
Gal's too gangly. She's tall and.
Anyways,
I'm sorry, Wonder Woman.
Anyways, Canadian Spider-Man. We're
Yeah,
talking about Gene Hackman, not Gal
Gene
Gadot
Hackman.
or Scarlett Johansson
Yes.
right now.
No, Gene Hackman, I've always looked up to him, and this is something that men of younger ages in particular can pay attention to, is Gene Hackman is a sharp-dressed man. In a lot of his roles, he really looks the part. He's a well-dressed man, and that's something I admire about him. Even in the he's had naval roles where he looks good in a Navy uniform. The man knows how to wear a uniform properly, and he knows how to dress up, and he carries himself accordingly. And a lot of guys today, the younger kids, maybe they're a bit slovenly, and they don't appreciate that sometimes a man needs to know how to dress sharp and look the part and act the part. And I think Gene Hackman is a good role model for that.
Tyler, you probably looking up who Gene Hackman is.
Yeah, I had to look it up, and
I knew it.
I don't know. I don't really know who that is.
All right, that's okay.
So pass. Sorry.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Tom.
Yeah, no, well, as he thought that Lex Luthor, he did a perfect Lex Luthor. I mean, the guy, and to go on Spider-Man, he is dressed so well, and he can make any suit look good. The guy knows how to dress in his roles. He presents himself well. The guy, he's the kind of guy, like, he's not big and muscular, but you still think he'd kick your ass in a lot of his roles, too. Like, he plays a badass, but he's so quiet, and he's just such a great actor. But I would say, Andy, he has worn a dress in the movie. He did Birdcage, where they're dancing out. They had to pretend to be women at the end because Robin's trying to sneak him out of the which is so funny is because he's supposed to be this very great politician. They have to sneak him out of this gay bar, and he's dressed. It's funny, but the guy didn't care. He never takes himself seriously per se in a role. Like, he'll do anything, but he's a brilliant actor. Amazing,
Well, look,
like you said. Oh yeah.
We also had the time when Milton Berle used to do that all the time. And
Yes,
if anybody knows about Milton Berle,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, there's actors that do the whole we dress up and all that stuff. Like, you have Robert Downey Jr. doing it for Sherlock Holmes. That kind of made sense. You had Wesley Snipes, which, by the way, is the funniest. I forget the name of it, but if you haven't seen that movie with Wesley Snipes, where they do drag cross-dressing or whatever you call it. Yeah, that movie is hilarious.
Oh, it's funny as hell. Him. Who is it? John Leguizamo and Patrick Swayze. Funny as hell.
Like,
amazing film.
There's points where guys just do it for fun, and they're like, "This is good." Like Robin Williams did it for Doubtfire. It's that kind of fun.
Yeah.
But there's some guys that take it way too serious, and it's like, dude, you look like a flamer. The thing about Gene Hackman is he was the first actor that I saw when I had hair that I was like, men do look good bald. Not gonna lie, it depends on the head, but he's kind of like that dad / uncle.
Yeah.
You don't know which side you're gonna get. He could be the fun uncle. He could be the hard, stick up the ass type dad. And I like Gene Hackman he knows his job, but he's gonna show his leadership in anything he does, and I think that's important. I think a lot of guys that we do in the tip of the hat, it's a lot to do with leadership, and it's always different. Gene Hackman is very much just steadfast. I'm not gonna give up. If this is a battle, you got to get through me. It doesn't matter. Here's a good one. All right, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Anybody know who that guy is?
Yeah, I like that guy.
I've heard of him.
All right. Tyler, we'll go with you since you jumped on that one.
I mean, I love him as Negan in Walking Dead. That is who we're talking about, right? Jeffrey Dean
Yes.
Morgan. Okay. I thought I was wrong. No, dude, he nails that role. That's really about all I know him from. I know he was in Supernatural that has like a huge cult following. But yeah, just how much of a just how good of a character he plays in The Walking Dead, man. Like I love him in that role.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have to say about that because
All right, that's cool. That's cool. Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah, I've never seen The Walking Dead. I don't know who this gentleman is. Yeah, it's
That's okay.
not the dude that played MacGyver.
I guarantee
No.
you've seen him, Steve. If you
What?
look at him, you'd see like
Yeah, I'd recognize him.
Have you
What
okay? So
other-
have you ever seen
else
The
has he-
Watchmen?
Watchmen, the
The
movie.
movie
yeah.
The Watchmen.
Yes, the
He's
Watch.
in that.
Yeah.
The comedian.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
Batting 1,000 over here knows him now.
Yeah.
He plays a dick really well.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
He
That's his-
really
that's
knows
his
how to
PBS
play
coming
an
through.
asshole. And you
Ah.
know what? It's not often, but every once in a while, guys, to stand on principle, sometimes a guy has to know how to be an asshole when
Yep.
he needs to. And that man can teach you how to be an asshole when necessary. Absolutely. That was a good I like that movie. Absolutely. That was a good. one.
Tom.
Well, to jump on that, like I said, he's an asshole in Watchmen. Have you seen Negan? The Walking Dead. His character's an extra asshole in that. It's like totally, and he's evil. He's pure, but then he becomes kind of good. The guy's a brilliant actor. I've seen him on a few other things too. The guy he has a range. You don't really realize because most people know him as Negan, which he does. I love that character. He's one of my favorite characters in the series. He really is so good. But the guy, I've seen him in other roles too. Do serious roles, do more. He's a very underrated actor. I'd like to see him do more. I mean, that's the best I can say is I've seen him in a lot of things, but just a really solid actor. And Negan is one of the best characters out there for like an anti. He's now an anti-hero. Where he was the hero, he's still more like a hero, but he's not really. He's still an asshole who would stab you in the back if you cost his team. So, but yeah. Such a good role. And again, is he good? He plays an asshole so perfectly. Even as Negan, he's the ultra asshole that will kill you if he needs to. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Andy.
Pass.
Cool. Mike.
Yeah, well, I mean, now that you mentioned Negan and the comedian in Watchmen, yeah, now I know exactly who you're talking about. So I mean, I don't have much to say about the guy, but yeah, you're right. He plays an a-hole really good.
Yes,
So,
yes.
Yeah, and I mean, that being said, yeah, I can see him as a very underrated kind of actor.
Oh, he is. Yeah,
So that's pretty much all I got about the guy, really. So I don't know much about him other than that.
I think for him, as far as I know, I don't like the guy personally for a lot of reasons. But the reason why I put him in the hat was how he portrays the characters he's in. With mainly not Walking Dead, because it's one of the dumbest shows I've ever.
Oh
I don't know
no!
why it's still going. Yes, because I have dignity.
It's
Oh, well.
overdrawn. I will admit. Yeah, way too many.
Yeah.
Episodes.
But
enjoyed the original, and yeah.
It's when I watched Loser that he was in and Watchmen. It's his dark sense of humor I kind of dig, but with Loser, the movie he's in, he kind of gave this idea of I'm trying to lead a group of misfit guys to do a job. And sometimes men have to lead a group of guys that are just an odd bunch of weirdos and they don't know how to do it. And that's why I put him in the hat, is because some of us may not like him personally for different reasons, but how he actually can can portray of like, hey, I'm trying to lead a group of guys, like Stallone trying to lead a bunch of overly masculine guys in Expendables. It's kind of the same way, but with quirky, weird dudes that just probably would never get along outside of the job. And so I put them in there and stuff. So it was kind of just like last minute kind of put in there. And plus I had to figure out how you spell his whole entire name, because any guy who has three first names as their full
Lee
name
Harvey Oswald.
is weird.
Yeah.
John,
I like the fact
Neil
that,
Patrick Harris, you know.
like, his character in The Walking Dead, I do like though, because he loved his wife. He tried everything at the end to save her, and then when she died, he became Negan, which became pretty much a psychopath, would kill anybody, just to, But he still had good side. I like the character. He's very well written. It's sort of like a Joker character almost. It's really well done. This is the first time I actually have to look this person's name up before I give it out, because I am drawing a blank. Oh, that guy. Stephen Lang. Andy.
Stephen Lang, good job in. He's one of those guys that like he did such a good job in the one performance that no matter how many other parts he plays, I just can't help seeing as the sniveling Ike Clanton. So even when he does the badass thing in Avatar and he's like, the crazy military guy, all I can see him is like, don't shoot me, Wyatt. Don't shoot me. I just need my britches. Like, I can't give up. I don't want to be, I want to be a cowboy no more. Although he is in good shape for a guy his age. Just probably
he is, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, how old is he?
Was he like 71 or something like that? 71. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, he's older than me, so okay.
It's a good fit. Tom, we're not talking about Walking Dead. It's okay.
No, I remember in Avatar. I haven't seen much of his other stuff. I've seen a few other roles. Like he plays the corporal thing a lot. I've seen a few times. Just a very good actor that I know. Very, very talented from what I've seen him in. He plays good roles. He's very solid, and stuff. But no. From what I've seen, I'm very impressed by his work. So don't know much about him as a person.
Canadian Spider-Man. It's a dude. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, it is. It is a dude.
Yeah, bro.
You just have this confused look on your face now.
My helmet. No, I do remember him from his Avatar role. He was in the military. He was the military dude in Avatar, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know what to say about the dude. Definitely comes off as a man's man, like a manly military kind of guy.
You're just confused and amazed.
Yeah, I'm just amazed at his ability to do that. Yeah, he's a fantastic guy, but I don't know that much about him.
All right. I had chili right before we did the show. Oof.
Nice.
It is. Mike.
Yes. Stephen Lang. Pretty good guy. Like, I know everybody's mentioned mentioned Avatar. Yeah, a lot of people know from Avatar. I need a hockey
Canadians
helmet
stick
now.
together. Yay.
Yeah. He was in a few stuff. He was in Tombstone. Played a really good guy in Tombstone. Really good character in Tombstone. He was in Gettysburg. He likes these military type of shows and movies. The one that a lot of people probably don't know about is a show that he did on Fox probably a little over 10 years ago called Terra Nova. Which was on Fox. And that was a really good show, And I think Steven Spielberg put that show up, but it didn't go anywhere beyond the first season. And again, in there, he plays what was it, like a colonel, I think it is, or something like that. And he's taking care of a bunch of people, like 65 million years in the past, and just trying to find a way for the human race to basically survive, from this dystopian future. He can play a real asshole of a general, like what he eventually does in Avatar, for example. But you see him on the flip side, in other shows like what I mentioned before, like Terra Nova, and he can play a really down to earth, compassionate leader on top of that, but also still tough as well, right? So he's got a fairly good range. So I don't mind him. I don't mind him as an actor. He's a pretty good actor. So
I just got to say that it's a shame Jeff's not here. Then we'd have 3 athletic supporters.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a supporter of hockey, just with Boston.
You missed the joke, Steve.
Yeah.
Athletic supporters.
It's
Yeah.
I just noticed this.
the Canadian thing. So
I just noticed this. Hold up, guys.
Ooh.
I
my
may not have
mammy
gotten
hat.
the joke right away, but I'm just looking at Buzzy's entire getup right now. He has his headphones over, and I don't know if he can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he put
Well,
headphones.
speaking of Canada, have you guys
Yeah,
seen
eh?
my
Patrick,
have you
what?
seen my Justin Trudeau figure?
Yeah, I have.
No.
Ah,
No.
Striking resemblance.
yes.
Oh, that's
Stunning and
deliver
brave
to it
resemblance,
personally.
Andy.
Oh man,
that's
I'll
my
take it
ball
to
hockey
Ottawa
mask. I haven't played in
personally.
years. I used to play ball hockey. I was a goalie, so
Tom is
Yeah,
getting his
goalies.
balls busted tonight, and
Goalie. Everyone needs goalies. There's never enough
Yeah.
goalies.
maybe Mike's will be next week. His is but vibrator.
Yeah. That's what it's on it. Yeah.
Oh,
Is that a sport?
something a little bit more comfortable.
sure.
Maybe.
I don't know. I do want to thank everyone who's been on this show. We were gonna do a fun episode since this is the 69th episode, make fun of OnlyFans and Simps, but I realized, God, dude, Tom,
Ooh.
There we go.
this is when grown men just say, "Fuck it, we're just gonna do it live."
Yeah.
We were gonna do an episode. Oh, who?
Ultimo Dragon.
I was gonna do an episode where we make fun of OnlyFans, but I realized we're better than that. We have
Yeah.
Sims. We'll
Yeah, a
just-
bunch of guys wearing masks on your shit.
yeah, no, right? But
Oh God.
I do want to thank everyone who's been on the show tonight. Mike, Tyler,
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Buzzy, Tom, and Andy. You guys have been really great. You made my night. I enjoy, as stressed as I getting to Tuesday, this becomes a very fun, and I hope you guys get the same thing where it's having fun and we talk about important things.
Oh, yeah.
And right quick, yeah, we'll go around the table. We'll do a little plug. Batten 1000. Is there anything you want to plug? I'm just gonna make fun of you now for that one.
Who, me?
You, Mike.
No, the 1,000.
Oh,
stuff.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, fine.
You need
Batten
hearing
1000.
aids? I'll get you some hearing aids for Christmas.
What?
My name
What?
is Mike.
I hope they'll finally work for me. I'm so happy. Yeah. So okay, fine. If I had to plug, I'll plug. I'll plug it in, as our short bus illustriously says. So yeah, obviously, you guys in the chat, whether you're listening on X, which you should be on top of that as well, so show some support to Steve here on X. and on the YouTubes and on Rumble. So some of you might know me. I am the Comic Relief Crusader, and well, yeah, what can I say? Over 1,000 now, surprisingly enough. So I didn't think it was going to happen after 2 years and 8 months, but hey, it happened. So apparently people like this stupid show that I kind of do. Not this particular stupid show, but the other stupid show. So, yeah, the fun stupid show. So not to say
this
that
is a fun stupid show too.
Show. Yeah. So
Do you need a shovel? You're digging a hole.
I do. Yeah, I really do. So if any of you don't know me, then click the link that's in the chat right there and check out my channel, where we have a plethora of people talking about all the stuff that is generally not covered by some of the larger channels, because it's the smaller news that just slips through the fingers and inevitably snowballs and causes like some of the larger problems that we're seeing right now in the industry of movies, TV, comics, gaming, all that kind of other stuff that goes around and ruins everybody's lives for the sake of the message. On top of that, we have news segments going on thanks to rancorsteve over there, and where we also let him have a little segment on the show of thoughts from the throne with rancorsteve. And and then on Friday we have a Friday show on Fridays, and if the 1,000 subscriber sub holds, then on Friday we'll be doing a giveaway where I got stuff like what Andy is showing right now. To a lucky winner, they'll get a Dylan Mulvaney action figure that they can torture.
Oh boy!
So yeah, exactly.
Is it a voodoo doll?
Because apparently voodoo's the thing.
A friend of mine asked me that. She said, "Is it a voodoo doll? Can I get one?"
Yeah. So. Because look at those hard-working fingers of Andy's. He puts his heart and soul into that kind of thing. So,
Andy, is there
I'd love
anything you want
to
to
touch
plug?
and grope you.
What?
What?
I have to go somewhere with it.
Let's see. No.
All right. That's all good. Tom, Buzzy.
Let me see.
The flamboyant Buzz Lightyear.
Yes. First, congratulations again, Mike, for 1,000. I'm lucky. Thank you for letting me be part of that show as well. And
Thanks,
yes,
dude.
well deserved, man. I'm serious. That's cool. And I can't wait to Friday show. Ooh. And if anybody's going to be tuning in, there's lots of stuff. It's going to be amazing. 1,000 people.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So me, myself, I'm still new. The Geeky Classic Leftist, I did the Ask Jessica segment, which is me and an AI. Well, I got my own single video up now. I did a review of WrestleMania. It's a preview because WrestleMania weekend is this week. It's
it is.
Yeah, it's Saturday, Sunday, 2 nights of WrestleMania. Hopefully Cody finishes the story. But also, ROH is having a pay-per-view on Friday. GCW has The Collective, which is a bunch of good shows. I've always loved, like, Bloodsport's my favorite one. Shayna Baszler from WWE is going to be competing in it. And it's just looking forward to this entire week of wrestling. But I did a whole 1-hour review show, and, I got more coming. But finally, I got my own stuff coming up. It's not live, it's recorded, but it's a start. So.
And this is the first time Tom has ever gotten really, really excited live on camera. Do you?
I love wrestling. Wrestling is like in my blood. It's a big passion of mine.
All right. Canadian Spider-Man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Steve. I do have a Rumble and a YouTube channel under Canadian Spider-Man, and I have a Thursday night travel talk show that I have people come on, and we talk all kinds of different destinations with some photos that I've taken while traveling through there. And this Thursday, I'm going to have, I think I'm going to have Rod Thunderheart on. We'll see.
Ooh, nice.
Whatever you do, don't travel to Haiti right now.
Yeah.
No, not Haiti.
Yeah.
Not if anything, folks, go to New Brunswick, eh?
Yeah,
Or Taiwan.
Come
You
to
can
New
find
Brunswick.
me here. You can find me here.
Hey,
With other
Canadian
New
Spider-Man.
Brunswickers
Have you
on
been
Thursday.
to Bangkok?
Several times? Yeah, absolutely. Love Thailand.
That's why you're confused.
Yes. Yeah, I got a story.
How many lady boy? Hey, lady boy.
Let me tell you about Kopipi.
Oh God.
Brother Tyler, is there anything you want to plug?
Yeah, I really appreciate you giving me the chance and also having me on. It's always a lot of fun coming on here talking to you guys. I'm an author. I just published a book a couple months ago called The Apocalypse Manifesto. It's available on Amazon. It's 4 short stories that exist in the same universe about people rising up against the corrupt elite after they discover a child trafficking ring. And the elite start to push back, and it brings upon the apocalypse. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. I'm working on a new book right now that should be out in a couple months, depending on how long the editing process is. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Thank you again. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Want to thank you guys again for being on here. This show couldn't happen without you guys. I don't know if UFC 300 is happening this weekend or next weekend. If it's not happening this weekend, I will be doing a Lego build of a rehash of another Lego I built. Either Friday or Saturday. Next week, the topic will be guns. We've done that a few times. It's fun.
I don't think they'll be this weekend because we're WrestleMania and they're both owned by the same company, TKO. They probably won't put paper.
Oh, so it's going to be in 2 weeks, probably.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you very much.
Saturday and Sunday, yeah.
Nice. So that, yeah, Saturday, it might be a Friday. I might do a Friday. I don't know. We'll see. But if you want to find any updates, you can go to X or Twitter, whatever crow, Tweety birds you want to call it. Not Rancor Steve. Next week we'll talk about gun safety and guns because that's kind of fun. Let's have a little fun, shall we? I have a few show ideas I'm going to be working on in the near future. One in the summer. It's going to be pre-recorded, not with Dylan Mulvaney. I'm sorry, Andy. I'm sorry. And then one that's going to be a live one. I'm going to talk to some people to see if they want to start doing that. And yeah, this is fun. A lot of fun, guys.
This actually was
on that
quick.
Note.
So
what?
It was really quick. So
we're almost to 2 hours.
Yeah, but it felt really
it's
quick.
Because the one question I had literally answered it all. That was the thing. I didn't realize that. I was like, oh well, I don't have to do a second or third question. Hey. But on that note, our glorious, unlike Canadians, you don't have this cool dude who has to do a send-off.
No, we don't.
I like to have Trump give the send-off.
And we say bye-bye.
We'll see you guys this weekend or next weekend or week or whatever.
See ya.
Ciao.